Welcome to the Mashup.
Tell me whether I'm wrong or right. East or west, up or down, side to side. I sit to stand and fall to fly. Of all of my impulsive plans, pop and lock and salsa dances on demand. I follow leading off the map and stop the chatter, scream happily.
Welcome to the Mashup.
Welcome to the mashup. Welcome to the welcome to the mashup.
So I don't know if you guys have ever noticed this, but like a dog smells like a dog and a wet dog smells like a wet dog. But a good dog, there's something, it just hits different. There's something special about a good dog where you're like, you could just smell it on them. It's wonderful. I love it. We are joined today. Welcome to the mashup. Joined today by Vesper, co-hosting today as Sean continues his stint in as a political prisoner. And speaking of that, we have Eva Chipiak coming on. We're going to bring her in right now because I know she's a little bit pressed for time. Eva, thanks for coming on.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. Hi, Vesper.
What's up? How you doing? I'm still dancing to that intro. This is how I dance whenever I hear that intro. You know,
I could do this every morning.
That's right.
Well, I mean, we only do it once a week, but you can listen to it whenever you want.
Okay, sounds good.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you, Emma.
Yeah.
As always.
We know you're a little bit pressed for time, so we're gonna get right into it. Why are you on here today? What do you want to talk about?
Well, it's been a really interesting summer. The weather hasn't been great. Are we going to talk weather?
Yeah, let's talk the weather. Let's talk about climate change, forest fires, all that good stuff. Have there been any good tsunamis lately?
Probably somewhere. Yeah, I haven't been keeping track. Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's been like so much is happening right now. I don't even know. I'm a little bit overwhelmed with everything these last couple weeks, months. And
yeah. So why don't you tell us all, for those of us who don't know, which I'm sure is very few people, but for the few of us who don't know what happened with you and RBC, why don't you lead us off with that?
Okay. Well, I got a letter. I was in Calgary, so I just saw it on Wednesday when I got home to Edmonton, saying that thank you, but no thank you. We don't want you to be a client. And the last interaction I had, because it said recent activities, high risk or whatever, I had it 2 days in a row made a contribution to a Bitcoin platform. Mm-hmm. I'm still not so familiar with these things, so I don't even know what the right terms are. But I had withdrew some money 2 days in a row, and on the second day they froze it. This was the third time Royal Bank froze my account, and it was getting somewhat frustrating that I always had to go in beg to get my bank account unfrozen. It was never enough just to tell them on the phone that, it's me. I confirm it was indeed the transaction. I'd have to go in to the branch. They would call the fraud department, and it was always for a different reason. This was the third time, and I honestly had enough at this point. But then the interaction was just so nuts that I recorded part of it and I just had it. I just kept it, not thinking anything would happen, and then got the letter. So that's all was made public now. But I went into the branch after calling. And they again checked with the fraud department, came back and proceeded to ask me these questions about and I get it that there's scammers, and I get it that this happens sometimes. And I think a lot of people, especially elderly people, I hear they get scammed quite a bit. And so, yeah, it's good to have some protection, but after I'm repeatedly telling you that this is my transaction and I am okay with it, one of the questions was, and I'm so glad I recorded it because I wouldn't believe it if I said it. I probably would forget some of them, but it was like, did somebody ask you to download software on your computer? That's a very strange question.
Well, you're constantly being asked to download software on your computer. Would you have any of them ever had Adobe before?
Yeah, true. And then the one was like, did they guarantee a rate of return or something? And I'm like, no, but even if they did, you guys do, I think. Like, anyway, I don't know. It was just all very, very uncomfortable. Like, that's at
Mhm.
a minimum the word. And I thought demeaning because, how many times can you say, that's my transaction? I approve this message and it's not getting through. So then at the end of that interaction, which I have to say was, like I said, uncomfortable and not a great experience at all. And I was prepared to move my money, but I was going to do it on my own terms.
Mhm.
Um, and the fellow, who was actually quite lovely, he was the one person that was lovely, and he said, "Okay, everything's back to normal. Just be careful with crypto in the future." And I'm like, again, like, just like another addition to it, and then just got that letter. So
Did
there's
you ever? Okay, so I guess for those of you who don't know, Eva's a lawyer, and she's I you could probably fine tune this a tiny bit, but she's done quite a bit in terms of representing people of the Freedom Convoy, including testifying in Ottawa and calling Trudeau to his face. And was there ever any questioning or anything at all like that about political leanings or anything that you've done professionally or anything like that?
no, no, nothing at all.
No,
Like, yeah.
and I gotta chime in. I mean, people that don't know, I was involved heavily in crypto, in the crypto space, and I've done a lot. And look, this has happened to me too, Eva. Like a lot of times, these banks are, first of all, they're in competition with crypto. Period.
Mhm.
Number two, there are people that I knew in the past. I'm not accusing you of this. I know you. Like honestly, your character on this is not in question at all. But there are people that launder money right through these exchanges, and I think what happens is it depends on the sum. Like I had my bank account locked in 2022 because I was doing like NFTs and stuff like that, and I pulled out through a blockchain from Binance blockchain, basically to over to a centralized exchange, and the amount that I pulled out was like $12,000. I thought it was like I get clients who pay me $12,000. It's easy, but because it came from a crypto exchange, they suddenly froze everything, and I was like, my debit card wasn't working, and I was like, what's
Yeah.
going on? And they had to explain to me like, this is all like protocol. Is that what you went through? Like this, it was all under a protocol or something?
Yeah, I guess. Like, and that was the thing. Like, they said that these are questions they have to ask, but it just seemed like somebody made them up. And that's what I said in the recording. Like, doesn't, I don't understand. And even if I say, like, one question was, how long have you been using crypto? And it's like,
Like, yeah, what's
well,
that any of your business,
Like,
first of all? Like,
well,
what is
yeah,
that any of your
it's
business, first of all? Like,
it's not
forever.
math.
Should have just said forever.
well,
I know.
then I stopped because I'm like, what answer, like, what would be the wrong, like, if I said this was my first transaction or second, is that wrong? Or is it wrong if I've been using it for a while? Or what, is there a right answer? Like, it was just, I had to take a minute and just think, what is going on here, because it was clearly not something, to help me. And that was the
Mhm.
one thing too, like, some people are like, there's so many scammers and this happens all the time, but there was one time when I really was scammed. And I called the RBC more to give them a heads up first. That's what it was. And just be like, look, I got scammed on this Facebook marketplace thing. So you could keep alert. And the way they responded was immediately like, you're responsible. You should have known. You agreed. And I was like, whoa, like, I expected first a little bit of empathy that,
Mhm.
okay, yeah, you went through that and sorry you didn't, whatever, maybe a refund on the but then the way it was like, you agreed, you should have known better. I'm like, the whole premise of fraud is that it was with an intent to deceive. And I'm like, my
Yep.
intention wasn't to give somebody money, it was to receive money. And all I did was click one button thinking I was receiving money, and in fact, with one button, I gave money. And I was like, whoa, that was totally unexpected. Flagging for you, help, like, help me out here. And It was like, your problem.
Mm.
You should have known. You knew when you clicked it that you were giving money. I'm like, but I'm telling you I didn't. Like, and it was in a circle and in a circle.
Yes.
So,
Wow.
Well,
Live
the
and
whole,
learn, I guess.
I mean, the whole crypto thing is complex in and of itself. I'm sure
Yeah.
you can understand that. But I will say the silver lining in all this for me was your level of coolness went up once I found out you did crypto, Eva. I
Oh,
was
there
like,
you go.
because
There
I'm
you go.
sorry, no disrespect. When I looked at your face and then I looked at crypto, I'm like, she doesn't know crypto. And then I find out you do crypto. I'm like, okay, she just went up like another 7, 8 levels for me in coolness. So I just
well,
want you to know that.
when you say crypto, like you were talking about it, and I'm like, I'm not really sure what he's talking about, but I
Well,
have moved from money to Bitcoin. Is
anything,
about as far as
anything that's Bitcoin,
Yeah.
anything Ethereum, anything that's on blockchain, like in that space is what I'm saying, is because it really does show an open-mindedness and understanding that transactions work beyond just what we have now, that there is another form of payment that we could work with. And I love that you're open to that kind of, thing. And not many people are actually intimidated by the whole exchange and crypto and all this stuff. I found it just really cool that you did that stuff.
Cool.
Excellent. And now you're with BVCU, I guess. I saw on
Yeah.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Nice. Shout
Yeah,
out to Brett
so
Oland.
yeah, lovely guy. All of it is lovely. So like the next day after that interaction, I'm like, okay, that this is it. I can't keep begging for access to my money repeatedly. And it's just a hassle. That's the thing. Like I could have done it earlier, but it's a hassle to move everything over. And then obviously.
Now, I have a question. Before you did that, why did you not maybe choose to go to another branch? Like, is it because they send out like a worldwide alert type of thing on like your account, or do they inform others? Like, why not go to TD or Scotia or any of the others? Is it because you're like, what's the point? They could all do this to me?
No, I have met Brett Oland, and he's the CEO at Bow Valley, and just what they're doing, they're actually, gosh, and I am not the most financially savvy person. I can tell you that, but they're guaranteeing or whatever it is on gold and Bitcoin. Like they're securing their funds on gold and Bitcoin. So I think like that's, I think we have to think about what's going on. Like I see the government, and there's a lot of incompetence and mismanagement, and that's
Oh, we're
going
going to
on
get
with
into that later.
our finances. And so, I'm not sure what's going to be with our financial systems. And so they seem to be a little bit ahead of the curve. So there certainly was their forward thinkingness that
Absolutely.
was very interesting. So like on their site, and I'm still setting things up, but you could directly buy gold silver through Silver Bull, who I think is like a sponsor on your show too. Silver Bull.
Silver Gold Bull.
That's the one.
Yeah.
There's too many of these bulls and golds and things. And then same with
There's never
Bitcoin.
too many bulls in finance.
And same with the Bitcoin that you could just buy straight off. I still haven't been able to set that up, but I'm working on it. So I just think it's interesting. Like, yeah, it's good to have these options available, and they make it easy instead of making it hard and again begging for your money, which I don't really like doing, to be perfectly frank.
I mean, it's my damn money. Can I have it, please? Right?
Yeah. Yes. And the way like some of it was infuriating to say the least, the number of times I had to call and talk to somebody that was dismissive.
Now I have a question. I listened to the tape that you posted, and there was a period at the end where he said, like, because you were asking questions, he says, I will get to you about that. But that wasn't posted or aired, what he said that he's going to get back to you on. What happened after like that conversation cut there? Did they ultimately come back and not answer your question? What did they do exactly?
No, he was asking me questions, and I think he misspoke because I think we were both a little bit on edge. And he just said, I think he said, I will answer your questions, but
yes,
I will take your answers. He went back to the back room because he originally went to talk to the fraud department, came back with those questions. So then he took my answers back to the fraud department on the phone. And I waited 10, 15 minutes at the bank, like a terrible criminal that I am,
Mhm.
very emotional.
Very obvious. Yep.
And incredibly emotional. Like I was not doing well at that point, and just standing
Understandable.
there
I mean,
waiting.
what
And then
country are we living in, man? Where Jeremy McKenzie and Eva Chipiuk get debanked?
Tamara Litch went through the same thing.
yeah,
Like it's
so-
crazy. It's almost like it's across the board. It doesn't matter.
but what shocked me, so then, and just to finish that, is he came back and he said everything is fine, your bank's accounts are reopened, be careful in the future with crypto. So that was how that whole conversation ended. So I'm like, okay, fine, we're all fine. But the one thing is, it's overwhelming how many people have reached out and posted publicly, how many people are writing me privately, and I'm talking like lawyers and professionals on LinkedIn, and it's too much for me. Like I can't believe this is happening. It's not just Jeremy McKenzie and Eva Chipiuk and Tamara Leach. This is a very serious problem.
Yeah. Well, I mean, whoever's posting for Sean while he's in jail says, had my bank account frozen for buying crypto last summer. Now working with Bow Valley Credit Union, had no issues since. And whoever's posted for him also said Vesper 2 has been waiting for this. Yeah. Our thoughts are with Sean right now as he goes through his own legal battles. Hopefully he's back soon.
I'm assuming it's some kind of inside joke, because most
It
of
is.
the
It
time
is.
they're not serious.
It is. He's incarcerated somewhere in heaven.
He got.
I don't really-
Well,
Just
I
kidding.
mean, it's lawfare again, the same thing that keeps going on
Really?
with everybody else. Yeah, so he was caught fornicating with a gopher, and they're throwing the book at him, and he's been in jail for a month. He's telling everybody he's on vacation, but the real story is that he is in jail for fornicating with a gopher.
I think it was an axolotl. I don't think it was a gopher. I think it was an axolotl, based on what I saw. Anyways,
it might have been a ferret.
Irrelevant. So let me get this straight. They didn't restore the account, or did they restore the account?
Yeah.
But you're like, I'm not having this anymore. I'm not ever going to go through this. And you made the choice to move at that point. You're like, I'm not risking this again.
Well, when I attended the third, like that time, I said, I came in defeated. Like, I'm like, my bank account is frozen again, just so you know, this is going to be the last time for me. And like I said, the guy was lovely. So usually it was very resistance. And this fellow in Calgary was like, I'm really sorry to hear that. I hadn't heard that before. Usually it's like, you're a criminal. What did you do? Who are you? And where are you spending money? And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, it's like collections officers who call you, like they literally just hammer you, like, you owe money, you owe this money, and then the pressure tactics just build up, and they incriminate you, and you're like, dude, I only owe like $500. Chill out. Like, where is Armani Lebowski? Type of thing.
I think it's in the toilet. Let me look again.
I mean, and Emma is such a lovely person, too. It's like, you wouldn't think.
Oh, I know.
Like,
she's wonderful.
Somebody like, and I'm not saying this just because of your face. I say this behind your back too. Like, it's just like, how would you do that? The person receives money. At the very least, call them, question them. Don't lock the whole account down. And this is where, like, they're mitigating what risk, dude. Like, no matter what the amount is, there is no amount of money that you could ever lock my account down for that a politician, like every politician by this metrics account, should be locked down with all the scandals that we see in Canada. Yeah. And all the money that they get. How come you never lock any of their bank accounts down?
Yeah.
So there's a definite double standard for the citizenry. And
totally. And I have to say, like, I do get incredibly defensive, and like, I will stand up for myself when there's this kind of injustice. Like, I was not like just taking it like easy on them.
Oh, we heard that. Oh, we heard it.
No, that
we heard it.
But it's like, how can you treat people like this? Like, there's zero customer service. And like I said, every time it was like with the intent of me being a criminal. Like I said, that one guy he actually said, I'm really sorry to hear about that. And I'm like, thank you for saying that. I actually said that to him because I appreciate it. But like, I go, like, every time it was like a tense conversation. And I'm like, it just is, it's not, I don't think that's what we're supposed to be going through. I don't think that's the purpose of it. Is like, can we have a conversation? How can I help you? What are we trying to solve here? Instead of
Yeah, it
anything else.
wasn't just the policies, what you're saying. It was a mixture of customer
Oh,
service and policy. Like if the
100%.
if the policy was garbage, that's one thing, but at least
Mhm.
have a good customer service that's empathetic. But you got like the both of the worst
Every
of
You got
time.
both.
both barrels.
Every time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost every time. Like there were, the exception of a nice person, but you know, there maybe there was like a note on there or something. I don't know. I don't know, but it always seemed like it always was off on a bad foot. And I was like, why do I keep doing this to myself? Perhaps I should do something about this. And then, like I said, then I got a letter.
Yeah, that letter was vague as F. I couldn't like I'm like, what? Okay, first of all, cite the policy, cite the section. Can you explain why? You expect everyone that has a bank account to read all the terms and conditions that your lawyers drafted for these bank accounts? Seriously?
Well, it's the South Park episode with the human centipede.
Yeah, yes,
Right?
it is.
Like, oh, you don't read the terms and conditions?
Yeah. And then the one thing that I kind of would go back on is if there's anything, really outrageous in the terms of conditions, you have to outline that to the customer. You can't expect a customer to know on 100-page terms and condition that there's some nutty thing in there that they're supposed to know. You have to walk them through it. That's also their obligation.
It really isn't.
They
though,
don't even
because
know
if
it.
you
Yeah.
if you specifically cite something, then they can specifically come back on that. I used to be one of the rental properties I had was a townhouse, and I was on the board for a little while. And when the odd time we had to send a letter to somebody about something they were doing, I'm like, okay, well, why aren't we citing which specific bylaw is in there? And it's because the more specific you get, you don't want to get specific, because then they can specifically come back to you with, hey, this is that. And so you just keep it broad, which I thought was crap. But apparently from like a legal standpoint, that's the way you do it.
But by the way, another person that engages in this kind of stuff is PayPal. PayPal does this like to a whole lot of people. So it's like PayPal will just freeze your account and keep you frozen. For like
YouTube,
3
for
months.
example.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I'm not there. I'm just saying, like, it's almost like it's a competition bias that's really there. These restrictions have nothing to do, because think of it. I was talking the other day to Alex about this situation of yours, Alex Zoltan, Eva, and I said, had she walked in with $20,000 in cash and deposited it, would they have locked her bank account? Like, what difference does it make had it been a crypto deposit or a payment or cash? It's still $20K.
Well, it's funny, the second last time it was frozen was for depositing checks.
Well, that actually is suspicious, if I'm gonna be honest with you, Eva.
Shut up.
A check, a physical check in this day and age?
God
Nobody
forbid.
even knows how to write
For
them.
shame.
Like,
For
you talk to
shame.
somebody who's less than 38 years old.
Shame on
and
you, Eva.
say,
Checks.
can you write a check? They'll just be like, what is a check?
What are you, a dinosaur?
Like a check and balance?
Check.
I won't tell you who it was from, but I do feel the same way.
Like, what is this? Is this?
But I'm still gonna cast it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just, I guess, the nature of this, the way these banks are all operating. I think, for me, the most revealing thing, Twos and Eva, was when it was at the Rouleau Commission, and all that evidence came out, like how Chrystia Freeland was just really just willy-nilly writing people like in the head of these banks and telling them what to do. And it's like, there's just no standard. There's just no standard. You apply the standards when it suits you, and then you just roll over them when it doesn't suit you. And
But
it's like,
that's a trademark of the liberals, of the left in general. It's fine when it's their guy, and throw the book at somebody on the other side if you
but the
think
banks
there's
I'm
a
talking
remote
about
case
here.
for it.
But I'm
Yeah.
talking about
But
the
it's the
banks
same-
particularly.
Really, we have the 5 big banks, or what crazy part of the economy in Canada. You've got 5 big banks that make all of the money. When we talk about like how ridiculous the grocery prices are, and how there's all the the grocery cartel is making money hand over fist, and they don't even compare to one of those banks in any given financial period.
I'm highlighting it for like in the sense of a situation that there really is a like pick and choose, very, very arbitrary set of rules that seems to apply. And
Communism,
I mean, look,
dude.
I mean, where we are at this point in Canada, I think it isn't beyond the stretch of the imagination that your reputation could have had something to do with it. I mean, that's where we are now. If you had taken me back 10 years, I would have said, no, this was just flagged. But the way things have been transpiring over the last 5 years,
I don't
yeah,
think it's wrong to assume that that's
Yeah.
exactly the case.
yeah. I
And
mean, it's
just-
plausible. It's plausible. That's at the very
just
least.
just to add, Vesper, you said that Freeland was telling them there were notes, and it was from the CEOs that they were telling Chrystia Freeland, label them as extremists and
Yeah.
terrorists.
Yeah.
They were directing our government, unelected, not even bureaucrats. That's how closely related the financial arm of these 5 big banks and our government is. And that is incredibly frightening.
You know, that would have been fun though if in your letter they would have deemed you a terrorist, and that's why they're debanking you. They should have just said that, and I think you should have just replied that to them. Like, is it because I'm a terrorist? And then you send them back. You send them back those letters between them and Chrystia Freeland. Like, is this why? Is it because I'm deemed a terrorist?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's great. Alberta needs to just get its own currency. It'll be wonderful. We got to talk to Brett Oland about this. We just need our own Albertan mint and treasury. We make our own currency. We quit deflating the hell out of it. And then 5 years down the road, we can have Sarah McLachlan in a World Vision type commercial where it's just like, in the arms of the angel. And she'll be looking really sad, standing next to some child in a beret and saying, for $1 Albertan dollar, you can sponsor this Quebecer child so that they can have baguettes and cheese.
So you could do that gay stuff. Quebec is gonna hire Rick Ross, and every day we're gonna hustle. Every day I'm hustling. Every day. That's gonna be our new national.
Yeah. Except there's gonna be a sound barrier right near every construction zone so that they never hear that.
Totally.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right.
Okay,
It's okay. We could keep going on this for a while, but I know, Eva, you've got places to go and people to see, and we've got a whole other part of the show to get to. So any final thoughts before we let you go?
No, I just think this is more of a wake-up call. Like, I posted about what went on this week. Like, this really lovely Christian band guy got kicked out, or like his Parks Canada thing got revoked. A guy got kicked off Air Canada, and then today a poor kid's swing was taken down. And for me,
You're
I don't know.
spoiling the show. You're spoiling the
sorry.
show.
Bye.
That's okay.
Keep writing checks, Eva.
I'm
Stop
just
spoiling
giving
the
you a hard
show.
time. I'm just giving you a hard time. But
it's just incredible what's going on, and I think people, need to hear about these things, talk about these things, and say, is this the direction that we want Canada to go? That, like, we don't know where we can swing on a swing or cash our checks.
All right. Okay. Fair enough.
Thank
Well,
you.
thanks very much for coming on. It's great that you finally came on the mashup.
Yes, my pleasure.
was
Thank you.
overdue.
Eva, you're a lovely person. Keep
Thank
doing what
you.
you're doing. Thank you so much. I look forward to reading your posts on X.
Well, thank you. Likewise.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye. All right. Well, that was awesome. I mean, not for Eva, but it was great to have her on.
No, I mean, honestly, Eva's last statement to the Prime Minister Trudeau was probably indicative of the entire sentiment that we all feel now with the establishment of government. Is when did you get scared of your own citizens? Like, seriously?
It was such a huge mic drop. Yeah.
Yeah. And like all
summed it up perfectly.
like all these banks, dude. So like I'm Lebanese, and you know what? I see that as me being part of a minority. I wasn't born here, but I did, I did properly mix in, when in Rome. I traveled the US, I did all this stuff. I can't tell you how many other like smaller group minorities, whether it be Syrians, Iraqis, they do all types of shady stuff, and nothing ever happens to them. Nothing ever happens to them.
Well,
right?
I mean, it's racist to convict somebody who's a minority.
Yeah, right. There you go. See, this is one of the things I have. You will never have.
Well,
Enjoy
you know
it.
what? You know what? You may have that, but at least I can take an exit ramp without hitting the ditch.
Well said. However, our aim was never to take the exit ramp in the first place. You're forgetting that, right? It was to cause as much chaos as possible. That's what Arabs do. So,
Well, you guys have done a great job with the trucking industry. Now let's get to some actual headlines. All right. So the Coot 6.5,
right.
which is now, I don't know, going to have to be incorporated to include Tamara Litch and Chris Barber, because the Crown is seeking 7 years for Tamara Litch for mischief and 8 for Chris Barber, which is insane.
It
And
is.
then CTV did this. This is journalism in Canada. The sentencing hearing for Freedom Convoy leaders Tamara Litch and Chris Barber has started in Ottawa months after the two were found guilty of mischief. Barber is appearing virtually due to the sudden death of one of his parents, while Litch is attending in person. Now, as it turns out, that was a fucking lie.
Yeah.
And
Default. By default. You're supposed to read these things by default as lies.
yes. So Judy Barber, I'm not sure if that's Chris's wife or mom, but she says, first and foremost, we extend our deepest condolences to the Crown attorney and family who lost a family member. To the mainstream media who falsely reported that Chris Barber had lost one of his parents suddenly, I would ask for a public apology to our friends and family and our community of Stewart Valley, Saskatchewan, for creating confusion and alarm and believing that something tragic had occurred, and especially to our son, Chris, there you go, who doesn't need this additional stress right now. Like, imagine you read in a news article that one of your parents had died.
Yeah, but what do they care? Their whole thing is they're becoming more and more irrelevant every day, man. I mean, we're getting to the point now where everyone is like tuning them away, but it's sad. Look, the whole thing is one big, like, disgusting ploy to do an attack on these two, and they'll do everything they can in the public eye to smear them in any way possible, or even in the petty way, right? Like this effing article. What does his parents have to do with this? He was just there virtually. Why do you got to report some dumb stuff like that? First of all, what if that's private?
Which ended up being BS, by the way. But in
the
meantime, so you've got them, the courts or the Crown's going 7 and 8 years after them. Repeat offenders sentenced to 3.5 years for sexual assault on Vancouver Island. Repeat offender, not even a first-time rapist. This guy is a veteran.
Wait, hold on. Is he Lebanese? No, okay, he wasn't Lebanese.
His name was what the hell was his name?
Was he a minority? Because if he's a Lebanese, then we get a pass. We get that once we become citizens. You get half the jail time.
Yes. It's the exchange rate. So anyway, his last name is Dick. So that was a little bit on the nose.
No, but look, I mean, look at the lunacy in this. 3.5 years, sexual assault, repeat offender. Right?
Yep.
And these two on a 3-year mischief trial.
Yep.
And if you want to know what mischief is, and if anyone wants to know, it's the criminal code section 430. And all it really is, if you look at what the mischief is property or the impediment of a property for the enjoyment of others. And we were talking about this in the space yesterday on X, and somebody said, well, what if someone's having a really big party across the street and the cars are, like parked, right? I mean, technically that's mischief. You're blocking my enjoyment of like the property in the area and blah, blah, blah. This is all they're hanging on, that you essentially impeded property. Okay, well, what's the freaking dynamics between a protest and mischief? Can you show me where those two operate in the law? Because I recall in Montreal and Black Lives Matter, a ton of shittards were destroying monuments when the Palestinians were running through downtown St. Catharines, destroying all the windows, flipping cars, burning everything. No one got arrested. No, I mean, one or two, but
Well,
Like,
no, but that's
where's the 3-year trial for mischief? Like, you literally
well,
just. And
the
what about this?
difference, Vesper, is, and it's very obvious. There's even Paul Champ is the lawyer who's leading the class action lawsuit against Tamara and Chris on behalf of the city. It's like $150 million or something crazy like that. And he says that there's no question it was serious, and they have spent 3 years showing the opposite of remorse for what they did to the people of Ottawa, but an 8-year sentence is ridiculous. The guy leading the class action lawsuit against them is calling out the lawfare that the Canadian government is doing.
Well, I mean, I already read. See, the whole thing is completely subjective, because the co-attorneys in the Crown case from last year were saying stupid shit like, this goes beyond what is expected and what should be like the norm. I'm like, wait a minute. So suddenly you are arbitrarily deciding what is the norm? Is this how this works? It's a subjective point of view. Well, what if I think it should be 6 months? First of all, let's contextualize this, you dummy. You not only broke the laws in Canada with interprovincial travel, you were starting to build encampments for people that had COVID. You're starting to tell people that their livelihoods are at risk. You're doing a million of these things.
You lied to them quite a bit.
Come on, that's the low-hanging fruit. Then you force them basically. And I gave this example. This would be like a cop who's stopping you to just have a conversation, and you need to go. Okay, you got shit to do. You need to go. And he keeps you and just keeps asking dumbass questions, repeats the question. He's literally impeding your right to go live your life. And then you say, F this, and you get in the car and you flee, and then he chases you, like sideswipes you, arrests you for fleeing an officer. This is exactly what happened. And you guys are blaming them? You caused this shit.
Well, that's exactly it. There's no self-reflection. But the thing about it is what they did wrong wasn't the mischief. It wasn't the bouncy castles. What they did wrong was they got millions of people supporting
that they didn't even anticipate coming.
Overlords.
Hold on,
That's
it's really
what it
important
was.
to say that. It's really important to say this for Tamara and for Chris. They didn't anticipate all of this either. Why is nobody taking this into consideration? They came with what, 30, 40 trucks? How did they know that all of Quebec was suddenly going to come also? You know what I'm saying? They didn't. And so you got to contextualize this. And yeah, they sent people. We just want to meet with you. We want to talk with you. Other countries were already lifting the man. And by the way, the spin in this shit, this whole thing that the liberals did was that this was about science deniers. These guys are vaccinated like probably highest per capita, these truckers, than anybody else in Canada. Okay. And you're going to come and say they're science deniers. They weren't fighting against medicine. They were fighting against authoritarianism. You had no more right to block me traveling interprovincially than you did across the border. And then when we come to tell you to lift the mandates because other countries are lifting it, you're not listening. Well, what else you want me to do? Just sit there and say, give me another one, daddy? Just keep giving it to me, daddy?
You just have to keep getting vaccinated. And I love the argument that, nobody forced you to do this.
Yeah, that's what Trudeau said.
Which is great, because you know what? Here's the thing. If I come up to you and I pull a gun out and I say, give me your fucking wallet or I'm going to shoot you, and you give me your wallet.
Yeah.
I didn't force you to do it. You still had a choice.
Yeah, to die.
You willingly handed your wallet over to me.
Yeah.
So
Bill Hicks has a Bill Hicks has shit on this. Like, he has a joke and a whole routine about how America is like the warlord of the world, where they walk up to like countries and just throw a gun in front of them and say, pick it up. And the other country's like, I don't want any trouble, sir. They're like, pick up the gun. And he's like, I don't want to have a family. Pick up. And the second he touches the gun, the American guy shoots him and goes, he was holding a gun. He was holding a gun. So yeah, it's coercion. And the idea that they would go through this. So there's also another case in Canada, which is a precedent. And many people ask me, like, has the Crown lost cases? Yes, they actually lost a major case, Jordan versus the Crown, where it was that they had a right to a quick trial and a delay. Do you understand? Like no delay. This is
Okay.
3 years. How is
3
it that this
years.
is it? How is this not a precedent for that Jordan versus the Crown Corporation, where you have removed the opportunity for them to have a quick a quick right to trial, and you've delayed this for 3 years?
And look at the carbon footprint that this trial has had for a government that says that climate change is the scariest thing happening, except for people disagreeing with them. The scariest thing out there. And we're going to get Chris Barber and Tamara Litch to drive across the longest damn country in the world 50 times just for this court case.
Yeah.
No, it's all bullshit. We got to keep moving, though. We got so much. Okay, all right.
I will just say one last thing. If my best guess will be that, now some may disagree with me, but I genuinely think after what happened with Pat King, because he certainly did, in my opinion, more egregious things than Chris and Tamara, or said more egregious things than Chris and Tamara. I have an inkling, and I talked to Tom Marazzo actually the other day, and he was like, he's hoping and probably certain that they're going to get a lot more leniency than we think, and I hope that happens, and they don't go full retard on this.
Well, I tell you, there's probably a decent chance of Convoy 2.0 if they get the book thrown at them. But, okay, moving on. Happy Airborne Friday. No, I did not forget. It's just that we're just doing things in order here. If you guys have any community notes, let us know at the end so we can talk about them. And if you're liking this, share it. Like it if you like it, which sounds redundant. And now we got to get into some rapid fire first. So first off the bat, I just wanted to point this out just before we get going too far. This was I was going to talk about this with Eva and I got sidetracked. But this is just a statement from the president and CEO of BMO, just talking about commodities and blah, blah, blah. It's a fluff quote.
Right.
But this dude's eyebrows aren't even in the top half of his head.
I think he's related to Mark Gerritsen. MP Mark Gerritsen. He looks like Mark Gerritsen.
Okay. All right. But moving on to more serious things. So the postal strike. So what happened with the Canada Post, the workers are all threatening to strike. And then they recently showed up all wearing shirts saying, pay us what you owe us. And it's interesting because they haven't been able to turn a profit in a very long time, but they want a more equitable share of the money that their organization is not making. And in fact, has to get bailed out by other people who actually make money. And they think that they're entitled to profits that don't actually exist, despite the fact that, you know, in terms of the skill set of these people, it's actually quite low. You know, not a whole lot is needed to make the cut
hold on.
in this industry.
So say what you will. Okay. I actually posted about this because here's the real dilemma for me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They asked for a 13% wage increase. Okay. And the government's just not moving, but we have absolutely no problem sending. So basically I calculated on average from the top of the hierarchy all the way down to the regular guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the sorting room. And it came out to like $330 million for that year. That's what they're asking. Okay. We promised to give Ukraine for the next 7 years $950 million. So while I don't like what Canada Post is doing, I would much rather that the money stays in Canada with these people who don't deserve it than to send it abroad to people that we have no,
also don't deserve it.
Right. And we have no business in doing this with them. Our economy is suffering, and you want to send billions of dollars abroad? Give it to these guys. At least they'll spend it at some Victoria's Secret Gimp Outfest bonanzas or something. You know, like, okay, just keep the money in Canada.
All right. But the problem with Canada Post is that it's just nothing but airball after airball. Not a single one of them can dunk. They need to get subsidized by the people who actually make money. And they can't even make a free throw. It's brutal. It's just a comedy of errors. And I get the fact that more people are looking at them now than ever have before, but they still can't turn a profit.
No, you're right.
And this
No,
picture
you're
is
absolutely right.
completely unrelated.
No, look, you're it is kind of related, but the point that I guess I'm just trying to say is you're right in terms of the way that their hierarchy and structure is set up. But man, wouldn't we want to at least, if we're going to be dishing money out to all these foreign countries,
We don't have to be dishing money out at all. I
period.
know what you're
Right?
saying.
It should be period.
Just don't. You just the benchmark.
Yeah, but there's
The benchmark for government spending should not be that it's the second stupidest thing we could possibly.
Well, I'm
think of to
sorry.
spend
You
money
know what?
on.
Maybe you know what? You live in this like fucking bubble theory or theoretical world that like this is what it should be, and if it's not this, then we're all like living stupid. Yes, the reality
No.
is
It's
we're
not.
always dealing. Can you let me finish? The reality is we're gonna always have to pick second to first stupid. We've
No,
done
we
it with
don't.
we've done
We
it with no, you don't want that. And many people don't want that. But the reality is, hey, do I pick Tacitus or do I pick Nero? Who's the one that's gonna behead everyone? Who's the one that's not gonna behead everyone? He's just gonna like, I don't know, chop their limbs off. Like it's always been like this in governments, man. We're always
That doesn't
screwed.
mean it has to be. I don't want to vote for the party that's going to turn the vice on my nuts back a quarter turn. I don't want my nuts in a vice at all.
Well,
and,
I mean, I don't know.
Canada
Maybe you haven't
Post
been
is
living
about
with
as
us.
useful. Canada Post is about as useful as the pump in a Gojo container.
Fine.
All right.
Burn it to the ground. Guess what's going to happen? Some other useless entity is going to rise up that we're going to waste our money on and just rob us. I mean, the idea that all the unions in Canada are literally corrupt. All of them. So if you need to deal with this problem, you need to deal first with the union problem. And that's never going to happen.
Never.
So,
they're too powerful.
Right. And so this world that people concoct that I have to deal with on a daily basis on X, where they think there's this world where we can, it's this utopic world of everything's fair and nobody's stealing. I'm like mofos, we are human beings. We literally have people in our own families that are probably kleptomaniacs. Like we have to understand that. Okay. Not every family. I'm saying that it's a human problem, man. And I agree. Canada Post doesn't deserve a thing. But I mean, let's be honest, Twos. Isn't there something else that's going to come up and that money's going to go to that?
You're assuming that the money needs to be spent. That's your starting point for this particular argument. Is you're like, there's a whole bunch of taxpayer money that needs to be spent, and I'm saying it doesn't. Okay, all right, we got to keep moving.
All right, go.
We got like 50 things to cover, dude.
Go,
all
man,
right.
Go.
Longest ballot. Alberta by-election candidate reported potentially threatening comments, according to the RCMP. Okay, they've actually been doxing these people. They're threatening them. So for those of you who don't know, Battle River Crowfoot is the riding where Pierre Poilievre is running in the by-election. And there are 187 and counting candidates so far from the in that riding, most of them being on the longest ballot committee.
Well, this morning, I don't know if you noticed. So you saw me post about this in like joking ways, and I named names, and then I got blocked by what do you call it? His name is Donovan Ekstrom. Because
he's a beauty.
So, yeah. So first he blocks me, then he blocks Canada, and this morning, I don't know if you could see Northern Perspectives. Are you able to go and see Northern Perspectives most posts? We have the faces of the two people, Kieran and Thomas Suzuki. I don't know how to say their last name. Okay.
Thomas Suchewicz and Sebastian Corvo.
Right. But Thomas, the guy that signed all these people, like that's not him. That is Mark Mutter. If you go to just go to their like Twitter, just
go along with it. The picture isn't irrelevant. We're in hurry up.
It is because they're brothers and they're Quebecers. That's the point. And then you have Corino, who's also a Quebecer, and all these people have ties to the Rhinoceros Party. You probably
which is
know
the
more
best
about
party, which is the best party in the history of this country. They ran on a platform of repealing the law of gravity.
They did.
He did.
It's the most ridiculous party, but now they're abusing it.
Except for all of the other parties. Yes.
Well, look, I mean, I'll take a joke any day.
Mm-hmm.
But when you become deliberate and then you begin to coordinate to go after, let's say, one particular person, first you go in Carleton. Now you go to like the middle of nowhere, Crowfoot, Indiana. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, why would you go there and flood that to make a point? By the way, there's probably a big chance of fraud in this. Okay.
There's probably
And
zero chance of fraud with this. Where's there any money to be made with the exception of Polyev?
no,
Okay.
what I mean by that is the way that they're filling out these ballots. And again, you should really watch with later, not now. What Northern Perspective has uncovered is what they're demonstrating is that some of these ballots are just basically empty. And somebody is like kind of Joe Bidening this, like auto penning this. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
yeah, maybe, but here's the thing: like, everybody's getting mad because this thing's undermining democracy and it's making a mockery of the whole thing and it's unfairly targeting people. Name one political party that does not all apply to. Like, look at this: deliberately undermining the process for their own amusement and agenda. Has anybody ever heard of Justin Trudeau? This report exposes their exploitative tactics. Justin Trudeau, the refusal to engage constructively, Freedom Convoy. How he handled the Freedom Convoy, and the urgent need to hold the mechanical, turning democracy into a farce. Look at the way Jagmeet Singh propped up the liberals for as long as he did for his pension.
You're a little bit of a hypocrite here, because I would expect a lot more hate. I want a lot more hate from you, since these are all Quebecers and you do nothing but shit on Quebec constantly. I would expect now suddenly you're siding with them.
I'm credit where it's due.
What?
We talk about good stuff. Okay, where it's due. When somebody in fucking Quebec does something constructive, I say it's a good thing. When
you never said I do anything good.
And when you do, I will say I'm just waiting with bated breath for it to finally happen. When those fucking frogs named the shittiest airport on the planet after Pierre Elliott Trudeau, I thought that was great. We need to name all horrible architecture and places of limbo after shitty politicians.
Listen, joking aside, for me anyways, okay, for me, it's not because it's Pierre. I wouldn't accept this even for liberals. You have no business effing around. There was $1,000 deposit to prove that you are serious. Now some Joe Schmo fentanyl overdosing guy on the corner of a street just puts his name on the ballot and gets to do whatever. Like,
you mean Randy Bistonalt?
Yeah. Yes. But the point that I'm trying to
they're just doing the same thing everybody else does. They just have less money to do it with.
I know, but that's the point, man. For me and for a lot of Canadians, this is not a joke. And for you to take this and make it into a joke.
It's
not to be on a ballot. Hold on, to get on a ballot is an effing joke.
Democracy. Elections Canada fucked up the postal code on the mail-in ballots, and because of that, the Liberals won by a vote. And when it was definitively proved that vote had been cast legally, they said, we don't give a shit. We're going to give the Liberals the seat. And these guys are the ones undermining democracy.
Well,
let's be honest. Every single person involved in this process, regardless of what side you're on, is just a sommelier of dick.
Look, they're clowns. And I don't have problems with funny clowns that make fun of things and whatever. But when you are doing this in such a way so as to target a person specifically, that's when I begin to have a problem. And I'm like that across the board.
It's going to affect everybody else on that ballot equally. Both of the people in that riding who are not going to be voting for Pierre Poilievre are going to have an equal amount of difficulty finding their preferred candidate.
Yeah, but it's not just that. It's the absurdity. It's the way we look on the world stage. Do you understand? Australian news, British news, Indian news, Swedish news. Everyone is mocking us.
They've been mocking us for a decade because of this exact procedure.
Why should we keep adding this? I mean, look, when Inglis, it was Kieran, by the way, who went to court against to the courts, and Justice Inglis is the one that decided that it breached the Charter of Rights for the $1,000. And when the second she removes it, he then leverages that and decides, I'm going to steamroll this whole thing with nothing but pranks. Come on, dude. I don't want Weird Al Yankovic and his antics to be taking over my elections. Are you serious?
Where have you been for the last 10 years?
No, listen. Trudeau
we have been on international laughing stock. You got Justin Trudeau cosplaying in India. And we got him dancing. Okay, all right. Yeah, so he goes around, dresses like this idiot, dresses like that idiot, dresses like this one. And we've been a laughing stock internationally forever. But somehow the liberals are the only ones allowed to do things that make us look silly. Like they don't have a monopoly on it. I get the fact that this country is ran on cartels, but the silly democracy cartel should be open to everyone.
I don't know, man. I heard some like other party people, some people from the PPC, some people from the Rhino Party, and some of the stuff they say is just wackadoodle, dude. There's just too much wackadoodle for me. Maybe I want like the comedy to be between each other.
8 episodes of wackadoodle.
Yeah, I get that. Listen, here's the thing. I want a clown on the stage. There's a reason I even joined this whole stupid social media thing, because we had a clown in the office. Okay. Mm-hmm. Had there been no clown in the office, you wouldn't exist. I wouldn't exist. None of us would exist. And we would be rolling along, enjoying our double mochaccino.
Say about your father.
Be quiet. Okay. Listen, the point that I'm just trying to make is none of us would have cared. It's until we had a clown in the PM. None of us were doing all this when Harper was doing it. We just didn't care. I guess what my biggest problem in this is that it's going to show. It's going to show for the record that these people did things in a way that was irresponsible. And yes, there is fraud. And yes, it could have cost us an election. Do I think that the Carlton thing had anything to do with it? No. Anyways, I'll stop on that. I got Sean, who's in jail. Who gave Sean so much access in prison, by the way?
He hit a cell phone up his butthole.
All right, let's keep going.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we've got 50 other things to talk about in the next 4 minutes. There are 189 charities registered to the same physical location in Canada. More details to be coming. Let's see here. New Brunswick man waits over 12 hours in ER to confirm that he had, in fact, had a heart attack.
Yeah. Was this in Quebec or was that outside? Or was it in Nova Scotia? New Brunswick. Okay, it's close. It's closer to Quebec. All right. Is it as bad in Alberta, by the way?
No, they only wait 11 and a half hours usually.
Okay. Next.
Number of federal.
Oh, I'm not buying this shit at all.
Yeah, no one's buying by almost 60,000.
Yeah, almost. By the way, that almost is probably the 90% of that 60,000. Almost.
Well, so it's 57,000 is, if you read into the article, it's 57,000, the majority of which will be shed a tear shed in Ottawa and Gatineau.
Question. If you had to gut out of those 60,000, who would you gut in those federal jobs?
Oh, man.
Where would you start?
It's like picking your favorite child when they're all still toddlers. I don't even
know. Wrong answer. You put a blindfold on and anything you throw is the right answer.
I like that. I like that. But it's now in completely
pin the tail on the donkey. I'm going to pin the tail on the donkey. Whoever I hit, it's like, what's his name? That guy in Argentina? Afuera.
Javier Milei. Now, in completely unrelated news, I don't know where they're going to find savings, but apparently our government employees are downloading entire terabytes of Netflix. So they've been streaming. The federal government banned Netflix, Amazon Prime, and other streaming services last year after discovering they were streaming terabytes of it at work. Now, let's see here. Public Services and Procurement Canada registered nearly 3 terabytes of monthly traffic to streaming sites. Privy Council had about 1.5 terabytes. Global Affairs Canada.
You have to explain what a terabyte is, by the way, for those that maybe don't understand. How much is that? So a song would normally be so just an MP3 is typically 3 megabytes.
Yeah,
a terabyte is.
So if you listen to one song on Spotify, that's going to be 3 megabytes. 1,000 songs is 3 gigabytes. 1,000 or a million is 1 terabyte.
Wow. I mean, hey, listen, man. I mean, there's a whole lot to do, and you need distractions in government.
I'm just saying, you know what? If we're going to cut 57,000 jobs, maybe look at the guy who literally does nothing other than sign in onto his desktop and load up Tiger King.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. So our government has.
So hold on.
Yeah,
Hold on,
go
one
ahead. Go.
question.
No,
What-
we can talk about
do we
government
know?
people losing their jobs all day.
I just want to know what's the department? Did they list what's the department that was
Yeah,
doing
I
this?
just read them off.
No, one of them, just one of them.
It was
S-
Shared
Public
Services Canada,
Procurement
Public
Canada.
Services and Procurement, Privy Council, Global Affairs Canada, the Department of Fisheries and Oceans East, Innovation, Science, and
Okay, but we
Economic
have to
Development.
forgive the hold on. We have to forgive the Department of Fisheries and Oceans because they have like literally nothing to do all day. Like it's very boring for them, right? They're just sitting around.
Okay, this is bullshit. If I am working in the Department of Fisheries and Oceans and I don't have anything on my docket, I'm like, sorry guys, I got to do some field work, and I'm getting in a boat and I'm throwing
Listen,
out a line.
Dude, they're
And I'm
watching
like,
the
I am
Nature
doing my
Channel.
job.
They're watching the Nature Channel, listening to David Attenborough explain to them how fisheries
probably
work in
watching
Canada.
David Suzuki.
You're a Suzuki. You're a
How
Suzuki.
dare you? You know what? You're also a sommelier, you dick.
That's all right. I take it very well. No problem.
Okay. Housing illegal immigrants has cost Canada $1.1 billion since 2017.
Can you stop being a racist, bro? Can you post something else? Like, you decide to post this now because I'm on for real?
All right. Well, here you go. Speaking. Okay. Now we have. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. We're going to cover temporary foreign workers, and we have one on to discuss it with us today. Vesper, welcome to the show. Temporary workers account for 19% of Canada's private sector workforce.
Deal with it. Deal with it. Hey, man, some guys are going to be willing to do things way cheaper than what other people are willing to do it. I mean, I got friends that are Algerians that come here and they're willing to do it for like peanuts, literally peanuts. So it's like, give us peanuts and we will do what you want. What's the problem? It's very simple.
Your French accent is terrible for somebody.
That wasn't French. That was me doing the Arabic accent, but it's okay.
Yeah, but they're Algerian. They speak French.
Yeah, but they also speak Arabic. It is okay.
You're just not only racist, but also ignorant
and arrogant.
23 Quebec business owners launched $300 million lawsuit over temporary foreign worker permits. The gist of this is that they're saying that if the government gets rid of the temporary foreign worker program, they can't make money anymore. They're going to close down, and therefore they should be entitled to sue the taxpayers because their business.
The guy that wrote this is a French guy, so I don't trust him.
You know,
any guy, any name with Giroux, dude, you're a racist. I mean, you have to understand that's our default, right? This minority thing is, by the way, I hope everyone knows I'm kidding, but our default is always like racism, right? You can't say anything; it's racist, right? Come on, it's racist. But if you just step back from the racism for a second, Quebec itself was like so racist. Do you remember Pastagate, bro? Remember how even the language, right, is a issue for us here in Quebec. And now for them to talk about temporary business owners launching $3 million lawsuit against foreign work permits, man, well, we get to do what we want. And the province itself is screwed up, dude. And I think you know it better than most Albertans, just how screwed up. Because a lot of Albertans are angry at Quebec, but very, very few of them that I've met have been able to properly explain why. From my perspective, these business owners, people like, by the way, Guzzo, these are sometimes Italians and Greeks and all these other people. They hire like Indians to do like, let's say they're cooking or handle the popcorn machines or all this stuff. And Quebec is just like all about no more immigration. We don't want to lose our identity. I think the rest of Canada is starting to catch on what Quebec has been trying to fight for like 20 years. You know, we want to stay, we want to keep our. I will say nothing right now. We will move on.
Okay. All right. The NDP folks are not a serious party.
You found that out now? Come on. What did they do now?
Your first time watching this show? Come on.
No. Right. I'm saying this in general. Like, what did they do now?
Well, that's exactly what I'm about to get to. If you could stop interrupting me, for Christ's sake. All right.
You told me to interrupt you.
Yes, but that doesn't mean you need to just put it back in the deck already, Vesper. All right.
Okay, keep going.
All right.
So
the 5 hockey players who were accused of sexual assault for running a train on that chick, they got acquitted, and largely due to unreliable testimony on her part. And Staff
this whole
error
thing
to
got
blame.
diddied.
Yeah, more or less. But staff error to blame after NDP mistakenly sends out press release saying hockey player convicted. So before the conviction or before the decision had been released by the judge, the NDP released this thing condoning the conviction of them and saying it was great and it was a
So it was like
great
this.
move
It was
forward.
like, yeah, it was this gamble. Like, we got this in the bag. They're
And
gonna
then-
be guilty. Let's
and
get
then-
ahead of this.
And then they took it down and then released another prepared statement saying that it was all a bunch of crap. And that was still even before the verdict had been read.
I wonder if when they did all this, if in their offices they were playing Jump Around by House of Pain. Like, I came to get down.
Or
I
maybe
came to get
Insane
down.
in the brain.
Insane in the brain by Cyphers. Yeah. Insane in the membrane. Yeah. I mean, look, do they even have any more seats? How many seats do they have now?
I think they have 7.
But
There's
they've
only like
lost-
8
but they-
ridings.
But
There's
hold
only
on.
like, yep.
They've lost the ability to be part of committee now, though, right?
They've lost.
they have-
They're technically sitting as independents because they don't have party status. So they don't have offices. They don't have resources on Parliament Hill. They can't be in committees. Like, technically, every time one of them gets up to speak. Now, this was Ottawa MPP, so this wasn't federal. This was provincial. But
Okay.
The federal ones, they all sit as independents, just like Elizabeth May.
And so, and I don't want to harp on this. So this is all because of Juggernaut Sikh that did this. Like, they all backed him, and he essentially completely collapsed the party. And they're still trying to do press releases. Why are you not trying to gain some kind of credibility anymore?
This was the provincial NDP, though, not the federal NDP.
Now, I guess this is a question I need clarified. Don't they have to pass it through the federal party before they do it, or are they independent?
Well,
Like, they get
technically,
to-
they're all divisions of the federal party, but they exist somewhat.
So there's no
autonomously,
quality.
and
So
then
there's no quality control to the top. Like, hey, we want to post this.
they won 7 seats in the last election. Of course, there's no fucking quality control, Vesper.
You're completely right. I walked into that one. Keep going. You're completely right. I walked into that. It's on me. That's on me. I take it.
Canoe walks away from pipeline deal. So a bunch of the premiers are doing a bunch of glad handing back and forth and saying that they're just going to. I like the idea of making the federal government largely irrelevant. And then Canoe basically just said, I'm not going to sign in on this pipeline agreement because it doesn't have enough Indigenous consultation provisions in it. But the guy's just, he's playing to his base, and it has no basis in economic reality. And that, my friends,
He should have just hired Coradix or any of these people that claimed Indigenous status.
I don't think you
swear
can
to God.
say that word on this show.
Oh, sorry. Well, I mean, I said Cora, and then I said Dix, but I put them together. I think I could say them.
Well, maybe
would
she
you
does,
prefer
maybe
to
she doesn't.
would you have preferred a bag of dicks or Cora Dix? Which one would you have preferred?
Why not both?
What?
Okay. This is an actual news clip in Saskatoon.
RCMP are searching for a man who has been spotted completely naked at a campground several times over the last month. And as Terry Fikowski reports, they want to find him and find out why he's naked.
I don't know what else to add to that.
No, just leave it there. It's perfect. We need to frame it. I wish we had like literally frames and that we could just put videos.
You
that would
literally
be on
have a
repeat all
frame
day.
behind you.
No, I
there's
meant
a-
like a video frame of that just playing on repeat all day. That's it. That would
We
be
could
the
just play
frame
it for the
in
next
house.
hour. Okay.
And
All
they
right.
don't know why he's naked. All right, go ahead.
From the New York Post. From the New York Post, this is the article. Do you have summer long balls? Awkward
Oh,
phenomenon
man.
could be uncomfortable and impact your fertility. I love the clip art they always put on these things, hey? Right.
Whoa, come on, dude. Oh no, they actually show it. Oh no.
This is a serious article with
Dude, this is-
anatomic drawings of I'm not sure why your urethra is relevant in the picture, but it's very clearly drawn.
Oh man, you could have used walnuts. You could have used chestnuts. Could have used anything. You used a literal picture. Come on.
Yeah,
It's
and look at the
ridiculous.
way the nutsack hangs outward.
I'm feeling very uncomfortable right now. I think we need to switch this.
Do you
because
have long ball syndrome?
That's none of your business on whether or not I struggle with long ball syndrome or not. Okay.
Well, it might not, like, it wouldn't be a struggle, I'll tell you that. Yeah, apparently, the solution, winter.
Oh
Man
man.
dies after heavyweight training chain around neck pulls him into MRI machine.
What?
Yeah. So dude was wearing a 20-pound weight training chain, and his wife was like, "Hey, can you come here for a minute, honey, while she's getting her MRI?" He got pulled into the machine and died. So well done. The next time you're pissing your wife off. And she actually, so for those of you who don't know, because you're in Canada, MRI is a magnetic resonance imager, and it's something that doctors in other countries use to diagnose medical conditions.
Yeah.
You've probably never seen it or heard of it, but
So-
it's actually really
there's-
common in other
Yeah.
countries.
A CT scan is basically for soft body. The MRIs cover basically everything, like bones and all down to like everything at that point. And I think
Presumably.
this is why the magnetic resonance, you go in and these magnets just spin around you like very, very, very fast. And it gives like a whole body resonance. And this guy was wearing a metal chain and that shit just pulled him in.
Yes.
Holy cow.
So
This is like some Marvel movie stuff, dude. Like,
well, this is
what?
like you're thinking Luke Cage, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I am
But
Luke
see, I heard this and I didn't think Luke Cage. I was thinking more along the lines of like Flava Flav or Nelly.
Yeah, no, but they were gold, dude, and platinum. That stuff's not magnetic.
Yeah.
If anything, it'd be DMX, early DMX. Early days of DMX, you know, with the big dog chain.
He hasn't really done much lately, has he?
Come on, dude. Come on, dude. All right, what's this?
Okay. I'm just gonna translate this post. This is German. People are talking about this in Germany. And for those of you
Weitermann-Schnitzel. Identify-Schnitzel. Achten.
This is German. People are talking about this in Germany in German. A 29-year-old Canadian has taken the entire poetry and literary scene by storm, and everything about it is beautiful. As a poet, Aaron Barry from Vancouver transformed into a gender-fluid member of the Nigerian diaspora named Adele Nwankwo, who in her work explores the connection between identity, trauma, and humor. Under the pseudonym Dirt Hog Savage Respectfully, Barry published a poem titled Non-Binary God, or Which Deity Would Be a Turf. In another poem, the author wrote about a lesbian WWE wrestler with the poem bearing a title, A Coming Out, a Wrestler Porn. Another gem, the utterly chaotic string of Shakespeare references and sexual terms loosely separated by question marks and emojis. It begins with the question, to be or not to be, only to follow with the name Shakespeare's Little Cum Slut. The poem was published by Jake the Mag, for which Barry used the pseudonym BH Fine, with the self-chosen pronouns of It's Complicated. The poem was nominated for Best of the Net Award in 2025. In total, the man from Vancouver received 30 prestigious literary magazines worldwide from 23 to 2024, which published nearly 50 of his poems.
You know,
this
kind of makes me feel, and I think of like Rachel Dolezal. You remember that Rachel Dolezal? Remember that white woman that like claimed she was black? And she went on Dr. Phil.
That was Elizabeth Warren.
No, that one. No, that's Pocahontas. This is Rachel Dolezal, who went on and basically was like, "I'm black." They're like, "Just because you curled your hair, you're not black." So you can look her up, but she still thinks she's black, by the way, just so you know.
Well, I mean, if no one's gonna correct her, you know, it's like
this is the world we live in right now, Twos. I could be a banana, and you don't have a right to call me anything but a banana or long balls.
You are bananas. You are bananas. Okay. So Fantastic Four, the movie has come out.
Did you watch it?
Starting to come in. No,
watch it?
I haven't watched it.
I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm guessing that the Invisible Woman and the Silver Surfer, because they're the main women, single-handedly saved the world from Galactus. Fantastic Four is a masterpiece. The visual effects in the score are a huge standout. Galactus is huge in IMAX. It's emotional and gives you hope. It beats you off and doesn't stop. It beats you off and doesn't stop.
So do you want a non-spoiler review right away or no?
That was a non-spoiler review. It beats you off and
that
doesn't stop.
No, that's their review. The movie, for the first time, in my opinion, at least we don't have any more wokeism.
Good.
Like the mother, like nobody was gay. The mother loved her children and loved her husband. I'll just stay there.
That's actually kind of a refreshing change. From CTV, anyone could forget a kid in a hot car, research shows. No, they can't. You're retarded.
No, not even close. I did that once with my wife. Dude, I literally not only slept on the sofa, but like the next morning she wouldn't make me breakfast.
Oh, the humanity. Thoughts and prayers for Vesper.
Even when I ordered her, I didn't understand.
Okay.
That is how it works in the
Transit
Middle
Commission has revealed a name for its new fare inspectors. They are called the Provincial Offenses Officers. Now, for those of you playing along at home, Provincial Affairs Officers, the acronym is POO. If you live in,
Can you imagine if it would have been like provincial elected engineers? It would be P. So like, why would you name it with an acronym of POO, you morons? They have no optics. I swear, half these people have zero understanding of optics.
Well, so their job is to go around on transit and make sure everybody's paying for their fares. But I hear that they've actually been going out to a lot of the waterfront areas because it's kind of been an ongoing thing in Ontario that there's lots of poo at the beach as well. Okay, we're not going to play this whole thing. I don't know
how. It's crackhead.
Well, here's the thing. This is an interview with Hunter Biden, and this is an actual thing. This is not doctored.
This is not AI. This is not anything.
3 minutes. It's 3 minutes. All of it's gold. I don't know when I'm going to stop, but just this is an actual interview.
So let's watch it.
Former president's son.
The only difference between crack cocaine and cocaine is sodium bicarbonate and water and heat. Literally, that's it.
And those things are pretty much free if you go to like a science store.
This is free. You can go to your neighborhood convenience store and just get. Anyway, I don't want to tell people how to make crack.
You just did, you idiot.
It is a mayonnaise jar, cocaine, and baking soda.
How different is the experience?
Oh, it's vastly different. And like for real, I feel really reluctant.
So, anyways, Hunter Biden. Nobody knows how the cocaine got into the White House, though. Nobody knows how the cocaine got in the White House. All right, here you go. This is the news we all came here for. Indian police say fake ambassador ran bogus embassy for micronations. This guy, this is the best East Indian scam I have heard of yet, okay? He wasn't asking for Bob's and Vagine. He wasn't phoning you to tell you that TELUS was going to give you 50% off your bill. He literally set up an entire fake embassy with luxury cars and fake passports. He's been running this since 2016. He claimed to be representing West Arctica, Saborga, Paulovia, Ladonia. There's a whole ton of micronations in the world. And he basically just said, I'm going to be like your ambassador for hire to India. And it's an absolutely wonderful scam. And for those of you who don't know where West Arctica is, it's west of Antarctica, which is bullshit because literally there is nothing west of Antarctica. Everything is north of Antarctica.
Or is that what the government is telling you?
That's a fair point. I mean, our compass is even real. Driver charge.
Are the maps really the way they are?
I don't know. I haven't been to all of the places.
I mean, we haven't been to space. How could we know? All right, let's keep going.
Is facing charges after stunning video shows a car speeding down a sidewalk. Just take a look. This footage posted on Reddit showing a white Lexus driving dangerously.
Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. Yep. This is how you drive, bro.
Well, so the driver, last name Singh, has had his license suspended because of this video. Time's list of the best podcasts of all time, 100 podcasts that shaped the genre and pushed it forward. If you're going to look at it really cynically and say, if they wanted to intentionally leave out one podcast,
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan did not make the list of the 100 best podcasts of all time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at this point, it's like, I mean, yeah, no comment.
Yeah. So there's that. This is what Eva was talking about here. City of Calgary lays down the law on 9-year-old boy having fun. This tree swing has been up for 7 years. He's the third kid who's played in it. But bylaw came by and said that the tree swing needs to be taken down. And then they followed up, like she got home late that night or whatever, didn't have a chance to. And literally the next day, they were like, we are going to stay here while you dismantle this fucking tire swing because this aggression will not stand.
Yeah, but I mean, we got to be fair. Okay. The police are probably looking at this as mischief.
I mean, it's just, I can't believe that we are letting people go 7 entire years breaking very serious bylaws. And they said that if that tree ever needed to be cut down because of the swing, that they were going to fine her $20,000. This is the kind of hard hitting.
I heard that
on the
tree
ground.
applied. I heard that the tree applied for maid.
maybe that tire swing could register as seeking asylum. It's already been working in the country for the past 7 years, and it's been here illegally the entire time.
Bravo.
Hulk Hogan died. Did you hear about this?
I did, man. I was kind of sad, and then I realized he was a real piece of shit. So then I was like, all right.
I thought he was wonderful, but there's a lot of people who do think he's a piece of shit, and that's what I wanted to really talk about. So Bruce Arthur, who Toronto Star, basically, if someone has a bad take on something, there's a decent chance it's him. He says, as for Hulk Hogan, he was always the villain and an example of how villains are sold as heroes to us impressionable kids. He was a gutter racist, an enemy of journalism, a great showman who couldn't wrestle, and the American hot dog colored fraud. He was a warning in a way.
Yeah.
As much as I love Hulk Hogan,
no, the
this
persona.
is good. I like
the persona.
Okay,
right?
But I think this is great. And what you said is also great. I hate the fact that in our culture, just as soon as somebody dies, we have to say they're awesome. We're not allowed to say that they sucked. If they died, they have to get immediately vilified. The only 2 exceptions of this to ever happen are Osama bin Laden and Adolf Hitler. Everybody else, they can be an absolute piece of shit their entire lives, but if they're died, we have to look back on them fondly, or at best say that they had a troubled life.
This guy slept with another man's wife, but because he was filmed, he sues him and wins millions of dollars. And
Hulk
this
Hogan?
guy,
Oh,
he cheated with another man's wife, but because it was caught on tape and then put out in public, which is defamation, he sued him for damages. Hulk Hogan has been known. Terry's just been a jerk across the board. And by the way, again, let's distinguish something. I love Bret the Hitman Hart. My favorite was always Ultimate Warrior. I loved it when Hulk Hogan would show up. But
Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the Bushwhackers,
all of
it
these
was
guys,
a golden age.
All of these guys,
Yokozuna, Tatanka,
all of them, right? Every single one of them had this aura, and then you find out like Ultimate Warrior, right, is like this sitting in an airport trying to just doze off, and this little kid comes up to him and says, "Mr. Warrior, can I get an autograph?" And he says, "Fuck off, kid." like this is the kind of people these are, right? And even before Macho Man Randy Savage passed away, he went off all over him and called him a complete douchebag and would just pit
Randy
people
Savage
against
was
others.
Great. Remember the original Spider-Man where he played Bonesaw?
Yeah.
Bonesaw is ready.
Yeah. Bonesaw and Macho Man. By the way, he was a legit gangster. Like you couldn't mess with Macho Man. And Terry was just a wuss and just was doing whatever Vince McMahon said until he got what he wanted with the NWA and went there and then came back. Like Okay, the aura of Americana. Remember at the time with Andre the Giant and they had Sergeant Slaughter, and then they had the Sheik and all that. All
The
this was great.
Undertaker.
Like, right? No, I'm talking like the Golden Age, right?
Oh, like even
WrestleMania
before that.
3,
Yeah. Okay.
right? So when the comes crashing down and it hurts inside, like all this stuff, all this Americana stuff,
Yeah.
amazing, and he did
Oh,
it
total
great.
Rocky 4 vibes.
Right, but then you go into the background. Holy moly, is it dark? It
Oh,
is very dark.
But okay, here's the thing. Like the point I wanted to make, absolutely. But the point I wanted to make is that we need to normalize having honest conversations about people who are dead. Let's face it. Paul Walker was a shitty fucking actor.
Yeah,
he was garbage. If he hadn't wrapped his car around a tree, we would be mocking him tirelessly.
Yeah.
But he had a tragic death, and so now we have to sit back and watch Too Fast, Too Furious and pretend that he can act his way out of a paper bag. I don't like that.
Yeah, and we're not going after his personality here. See, so this is where Paul Walker and Hulk are different in that their personalities are clearly different. But if we're
They're
talking
kind of the
about
same lately.
no, in terms of if we're talking about acting, Hogan was a better actor than Paul Walker. Okay,
Yeah,
but if
which is saying something.
Right. But if we're talking about actual personality, I would go with Paul Walker. But you're absolutely right. We're not to speak ill of the dead, right? That's the whole thing.
Yeah,
but
I don't like it.
But we're not pissing on someone's grave when we call out the truths of what happened. If this man happened to be a racist and let's say a rapist, even God forbid, and then he dies because he did something for humanity, how does that absolve him of being a pedophile? Speaking of pedophiles, I hope we're going to touch on this Epstein thing, because if we're not, I'm going to be very disappointed in you.
Phrasing. Well, actually, I hadn't had it, but we can. You know what? What do you want to say about it?
I think Trump has betrayed the entire fucking MAGA movement.
Yeah, absolutely.
The reason why is because I've been seeing articles coming out that the FBI and the CIA have said that his names were in those lists. And now he's kind of like, I don't know what everyone's wanting the scam. Why does everyone want to see what's inside? It's a scam. It's a waste of time.
Who's
Look at all the
still
great
talking
things
about
they've done.
this?
Yeah.
Why don't you guys talk about the White House?
Yeah,
I
there's nothing
redecorated it.
Yeah,
It's
look at all the
amazing.
good stuff. Look at all the good things that I've done. Look at this. Look at that. Why do we need to see this? I don't know. Because it was a campaign promise, douchebag, and maybe because Kash Patel said there was something. Dan Bongino said there was something.
And then
all of
walked it
America
back.
said something. Kid Rock, who knows nothing, said there was something. Okay. Everybody, and now suddenly, and Pam Bondi goes out in front of everybody and says, "We got tens of thousands of pedophiles and
It's
names."
literally sitting on my desk.
It's
and then
literally
she says
sitting-
later, "There's nothing."
And then
right?
Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, yeah, no, look, he killed himself. Yeah, we saw the tapes. We saw the tapes.
Yeah,
He killed himself.
my name is Dan Bongino, and I just want to. I just want to say that I'm not being coerced at all, and
Dude, if
nothing,
anyone's
nothing happened.
watched his podcast for at least a month, you would have known that this man consistently brought it up heading up into the election.
Yeah, and then afterwards, nope, nothing to see here.
And it's ridiculous. You now have actual Republicans and Democrats joining to. We want you to just fuck, man. It took 80 years to show us who killed Kennedy, and now you're gonna do this bullshit? Seriously?
And Dan Bongino, that guy is a mountain. Imagine how scary something has to be to intimidate him.
Yeah. And you know, it's funny for a president who just went to Fort Knox. You know, he went to the Treasury to see the gold reserves. I don't know if you saw that on Truth Social.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's on Truth Social. So they show you a video of him walking into Fort Knox, but not actually show us any of the gold. So here's my question. You're this
Are they
president.
fueling these conspiracy theories on purpose, do you think?
Let me just continue. So
okay.
Edward Snowden is still not allowed back. That's how
Yeah.
much he cares about freedom, right?
Mhm.
So get this. Here's the hypocrisy. You saw what's been happening with Obama, Trump, right? Like that he's going to be for treason, Tulsi Gabbard, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
So it's okay to arrest a president, right, that was spying on your campaign and blah, 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 blah. But it's also okay to arrest somebody who exposed that the government was spying on its people. So why is this guy not already let back into the USA? Why does he have to hide out in Russia?
Well,
It
I
took
mean,
for-
there ought to be a parade in that guy's honor, in all honesty.
yeah. So that's one thing. Number two, Roswell. Why haven't you showed anything from Roswell? You said you would. You would show everything that Roswell had. Didn't do that either.
Well, there's nothing interesting.
Right. Everything this guy is doing, it's, you know what I ultimately feel? I'll wrap it up on this because it can go forever. He's giving the breadcrumbs to the people. Like, okay, yes, it's only a woman, it's only a man. There's no middle. Okay. There's just one. It's just a man or a woman. He'll give people this, celebrate. God saved me. We should worship God. That's great. Even devils know there's a God. So that's not a big mountain to climb. No, we acknowledge it. Okay. Then he does this. He does all these little things. And then the big things that in the background, no one talks about it. No one talks about the fact that you and I talked about this with Sean, that BlackRock and Vanguard are working with him. You know, those guys we called devils for like 4 years who were trying to take over the world with DEI and globalism, who are still doing it, by the way, with Larry Fink. And then suddenly he falls out with Elon Musk. Why? Because he's about to spend $2 trillion and next year another $2 trillion. And I'm going to make all this money back in tariffs. What? Like, I was talking to my cousins out in like down south, out in Texas and in Austin. I'm like, they're like, yeah, he's giving y'all a lot of tariffs. I'm like, what?
He's giving you
a lot of tariffs. You're paying taxes. Haven't you noticed that the fromage that you're supposed to be getting from Quebec that you loved? Remember the one you were eating? She said, now that you're telling me, yeah, it's more expensive. And
I shouldn't have had to tell you.
Like the issue is, Trump, for me, and the Epstein list is a betrayal to the entire base about transparency. If he won't release this,
it's not even a betrayal to his base. It's a betrayal to everybody.
But the point is,
who the fuck
do we think? Who the fuck do we think is in those lists?
Everybody.
Who do you think Jeffrey Epstein was friends with? Bill Gates, Enron level bankers, heads of state. I mean, we knew Prince Andrew. Like, he's the only dummy that got like literally thrown under the bus for this, right? Can you imagine how many more of the monarchs might be involved? Can you imagine that our king might be in that list?
Well, I mean, it's going to be weird. I thought it was strange, even with Prince Andrew, because I just feel like after all of these centuries of the monarchy doing what they do, it's probably hard for any of them to get an erection for somebody outside of their immediate family.
That goes without saying. But I guess when we talked about that, I wanted to talk about the Epstein thing at some point, but not bloatedly, because all the American podcasters are talking about it.
And I mean, I've been covering it, past few weeks too.
All I'm saying is, does it mean he's not American? No, it just means he's a fucking New Yorker. At the end of the day, Trump is not an American first. He's a New Yorker. And if you understand if you've been to New York and you are a New Yorker, then you will understand what I'm saying when I say he's a New Yorker. Me first, everybody second. That's Trump. You literally, Truth Social is one big fucking ego project. The whole fucking platform is Trump, right? Why do you just call it Trump Social? That should have been the name. So I'll land on that.
Okay. All right. These are the common dangers Toronto ER doctors say kids should avoid. The risk is simply not worth it. This is from the Toronto Star. Pools and water play, biking without a helmet, trampolines, tobogganing and sledding, electric bikes and scooters. Lesser known culprits include inflatable bouncy castles. Let's see here. What was the other one? Lawnmowers, shopping carts.
So
kids need to stay away from all of this.
So basically, don't let your kids outside.
Oops,
Nintendo
sorry,
Switch.
Yeah.
Don't let them outside. Give them a Nintendo Switch. And if you have a strap vest, put them in a strap vest. That way they will. You know what it is? This reminds me of that Seinfeld episode with the Bubble Boy.
Right? Oh, that's totally it. Or the South episode with the kid with the life jacket.
Right. Like, I feel like, and Jordan Peterson said this once. I don't remember where. He said, rather than dealing with like information and teaching people how to live life, what they're opting for is everybody needs to be in a bubble suit so nobody gets hurt.
Yep.
This is the world we're living in. You can't say wrong words. It hurts my feelings. You can't wear that guy on the fucking plane that wore the blackface Trudeau. They kicked him off.
We're going to get to it.
Okay.
Actually, sorry, we could get to that right now if you want.
Like, are we serious? How many fuckers were Che Guevara? Do you guys know who Che Guevara is? Like, nobody gives a shit that Che Guevara was like a bad guy. Nobody.
He does look cool on a shirt, though. I remember the
Yeah,
first time I saw
like,
Che
why is
Guevara's
that
shirt, I was like,
okay?
that's kind of a cool shirt.
Why is that
And
okay?
I had
though?
no idea.
Right.
Okay. But yeah, so here's the thing is, so it's Uncle Hack. He's got a bunch of merchandise, including this shirt that got dude kicked off of a flight in Halifax. And it's funny, I got to issue a slight correction because I was on Clyde's show on Wednesday, and we were talking about it as though we thought it was actually Uncle Hack who'd been kicked off. But it wasn't. It was just his shirt that had gotten the guy kicked off. So he was wearing that classic Trudeau East Indian blackface picture on a shirt, and they said that's offensive. You can't wear it on the plane. You can't even fly. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say that if it's okay for us after that got released to vote for him at least once more, maybe it was twice more. I can't remember exactly when.
Once.
Okay.
Once.
All right. If that,
how did that not disqualify his ass?
If it was okay for us to vote him in as leader of the fucking country after that came out, it should be okay for somebody to wear that shirt on a fucking plane.
Yeah. I mean, we have pictures of U.S. presidents in their mugshots, right? They had no problems with fucking Trump with a mugshot. Remember his mugshot? They made t-shirts of that shit. Why did nobody complain then? Why did none of these liberal neocons and Democrats and sensitive people complain?
Because it's their thing. It's their thing.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Here. For the first time in CFL history, an all-female support crew.
Wait, the CFL still exists?
Shut your whore mouth. So all the refs and all the people running the chains and everything like that, all women. So
I will repeat, the CFL still exists.
So they didn't realize it, but
hey, dude, you don't have Flutie no more. That was the end of the CFL for me. It was Flutie. That's it. That's when I stopped watching.
Probably, yeah. So the last game you saw was when the Baltimore Stallions won the Grey Cup.
Pretty much.
All right.
Are you serious? The entire refs and all this are all women.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, but they don't realize that football has quarters. It doesn't have periods. And also, I'm pretty sure the game's going to start 30 minutes late.
Oh, man, that's bad. Hey, all the women out there. I'll tell you this. He's not speaking to me. He's not speaking to me. All right?
Tell you
I'm
what.
just letting you know. My wife sees this, honey, I don't agree with what he just said. Okay, don't come after me.
The ref jerseys are going to be crisp, not a single seam on them.
Well, first of all, I would have at least changed the pattern to a horizontal line. right away.
Well, the vertical stripes are slimming, right?
Yeah, they are. But then, I mean, who are we kidding? Look. Hey, this is fun, by the way. What else are we going to talk about?
Well, okay, we got Uncle Hack. Oh, here we go. More racism stuff. Most Canadians still think Canada is accepting too many immigrants, and many don't trust newcomers, according to poll. Now, the funny thing is that if you actually go into the stats, where the hell is it? Basically, oh shoot, I can't remember. The trust, actual trust, blah blah blah. Basically, people who are white are less likely to say that there are too many immigrants than people who are not.
I will agree to that. I have cousins that came from Syria, and I don't trust them.
Okay. Odd anecdote, but sure. Fair enough.
Fred, you wanted to know. Hey, by the way, just so you know, immigrants, the immigrants that come are more racist than any of the other people.
Oh, absolutely.
In Canada.
I mean, that's what the survey said.
We literally don't care. We literally don't care. It's unfortunate in our cultures that it's like this, but we lived in a very savage land in, let's say, the Middle East. I don't want to talk about the other places, but in the Middle East, it's savage. It's survival. And the last thing you care about is like what the color of this guy's skin is. So you'll call him exactly what you want to call. And that's how the mentality is over there. So when they come here and they don't integrate properly, there's always those vestiges that they keep of like calling, like we don't have a name for white people, but we have a name for every other nationality. Just so you know that.
That's because white people isn't a nationality, you racist prick. There's Irish, there's German, there's even fucking French.
Yeah,
there's a million of them.
I'm just explaining to you that like the problem is that a lot of these, whether they be Asian, Middle Eastern, African, everyone pretends they're not racist. And I think Russell Peters exposed this very well as a comedian, that we're all actually very racist, you know, but it's
And
the government's job to create this optical illusion that they are somehow being oppressed. Motherfucker, all the Arabs and Indians all own all the Dollaramas and are rolling in hustling money every day. Like we are some of the richest people because of what we've done, and we don't care. And you want to paint us like we're the victims? We're no victims. Okay. Like I'm saying it straight. And this is from a person born in Beirut and came here. We're not victims. You could call
all
us,
right.
you can call us terror. You can call us whatever you want. It doesn't hurt our feelings. It just doesn't. It just doesn't.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. All right.
Anyways,
Well,
I'm saying there's I'm
yeah.
speaking for all the minorities that
Yeah,
still
you're
have
speaking on
long
behalf of
balls.
all of your other fellow Mexicans. I
Yeah.
get it. Okay. French president sues Candace Owens for defamation over claim that his wife is a dude. This is actually happening.
Man, when she punched him in that plane, I was like, "Yo, no girl could
Oh,
no girl could throw a right like that. No girl could throw a right like that." And then I'm like, the tendon motion was just it was a snap. I was like, "Yeah, I haven't seen that with women. That was a man. Only a man could do that."
I want to see the people who got upset about the Penn State swimmers start saying that, we should allow we need to start excluding trans women from being first ladies of countries. It's just another thing they're taking away from us.
Well, on a more serious note, I don't know why that has hijacked the more egregious situation, and I'm assuming you know what the egregious situation between Emmanuel and what's Bob, his wife.
The fact that she beats him and that there seems to be a drug problem.
No. She was in a relationship with him when he was 16 years old, and she was 40.
That would have been fine if she was hot.
Why are we still saying she? She's not
Okay.
a she. Like it's a he. That's the whole point and premise of this
if
argument.
it was a hot chick who's 40 and
Yes,
he's 16,
if Cameron
I'm like, okay,
Diaz,
right on.
if Cameron Diaz at 40 would have wanted me, yeah, man, cool.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But when
Right.
Bobby Boucher wants to marry me, like, and I'm working at the Rothschild, like, maybe the level of access that she groomed this guy, he groomed this guy, and then started putting him in these banking jobs because he worked at the Rothschild banking. I don't know if you knew that before he became president. So this person probably has ties, like to bigger people, and maybe Emmanuel was just like her Deuce Bigelow, male gigolo.
Maybe it was grooming, or maybe just sitting there with a high up dress and then does the Basic Instinct thing, shows a nice set of summer long balls, and his heart was gone after that.
No, it's not Basic Instinct. It's the Crying Game.
No, I'm talking specifically Basic Instinct.
No, but in Basic Instinct there was no balls. That was in the Crying Game when he found out that. And then
you don't understand the joke. It's okay.
Okay, I don't understand.
I'm saying picture the Sharon Stone thing, but with a pair of balls.
Okay, and then like normally the reaction should be the Ace Ventura with like the suction thing on his face, with the Crying Game song in the background. Einhorn is Finkel. Why are we making memes of those, bro? We should just be putting Einhorn's face on that picture. I'm ashamed of you, by the way. I'm highly disappointed that you didn't put that next to Einhorn's face.
Well, I mean, especially after we were just talking about the CFL, because there's a great Laces Out tie-in. That would have been a perfect segue. And speaking of Laces Out, Candace Owens is being sued.
All right.
Okay.
What's next?
Again, with the fucking French. The French are claiming air conditioning results in thermal shock. But the prospect of U.S.-style air conditioning sends shivers through some Europeans. People who are particularly concerned about climate change want to avoid using electricity for air conditioning. And in France, media outlets often warn that cooling a room to more than 15 degrees Fahrenheit below the outside temperature can cause something called thermal shock, resulting in nausea, loss of consciousness, and even respiratory arrest. So if you cool more than 6 degrees down from the exterior temperature, you could cause respiratory arrest because of thermal shock.
Next.
Canadian senator calls for lowering voting age to 16 after UK does so. So last week, Carla and I were talking about this. The UK is lowering.
By the way,
voting
shout
age
out to
16.
hold on. Shout out to Carla. Awesome. People go check her out at the Sovereign Co. Awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome person. Awesome person.
Wonderful lady. Unlike this idiot bitch who wants to
wait,
lower
hold
the
on.
voting age in Canada.
Phil Primo just wrote, I know it's fickle. What the fuck, guys? But it's true. It's true. That's why it's funny. This is the mashup. This is what you're supposed to be here.
Okay. So this Canadian senator. So last week, Carla and I were talking about this, and I said, you know what? It's really nice. It's refreshing for once that the stupidest thing in the world that a country is doing is happening somewhere outside of Canada. And I'm glad that it's for once, it's not us leading the charge off the fucking cliff.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
well, fast forward a week.
Yeah.
And we've already got a senator who's like, well, Britain is doing it. We should do it too. No, we shouldn't. Okay.
No,
None
they
of
should.
them brush their teeth. Does that mean we should stop doing it?
No, they should, because there's reasons. Reason one, too many people now know how fucked up we are. We need to go to the people that have not yet been exposed to how fucked up we are. And that's why.
It's insane.
How many 16-year-olds know the state of politics right now, dude?
How many 40-year-olds know the state of politics?
A lot more than a lot of 16-year-olds.
That is the
right
one
now are
good
just
thing
discovering
that Trudeau
masturbation. Hold on. 16-year-olds are just discovering maybe masturbation, unless they're very advanced by now. But the whole point is usually at 16, you're getting your first kiss.
How do you scale teenage masturbation? Like, do you have a ranking system?
Yes, I do. If you come from a very abusive household, you discover it very early. If you come from a very loving household, you discover it very late.
I did not know that, actually.
No, that's just my opinion. There's no scientific evidence for this.
Okay.
Okay.
All
it's
right.
to console yourself.
Fair enough. I feel like it's not a constant state of consolation for a lot of teenage boys. But moving along,
Chikungunya.
Yeah, so, yes, this is
make it fucking easier. Just call it Gunya or Chick. Why you gotta make it
World Health Organization. Can I read the headline for crying out loud? World Health Organization.
Hey, don't invite me next time. How about that?
I think I won't. I'm kidding. You come back anytime. World Health Organization for the 5th time sounds alarm on risk of chikungunya epidemic. Now, personally, I think this is great. We're finally back to being able to name viruses after the country they came from.
Is there a place called malaria?
No, it's a large area, but it's not malaria.
Okay. Okay.
So anyway, I mean, do you ever notice that, like, as soon as nobody starts paying attention to the World Health Organization, they're like, hey, guys, there's another virus. Yeah. There's another virus. Yeah. There's hey, look at me, guys, look at me. Like, they're those guys who just rev their motorcycles when people are doing other things.
I mean, I found it, the one good thing about America is that you got to say at least Trump got out of the World Health Organization and signed to get out of that whole thing.
Yes.
I'm sad because Canadians are talking about whether or not we should join the European Union. Like, we're not in Europe, dipshits. Why would we join the European Union? We're not in Europe. Like, it makes no sense. I don't know if you've seen this. There's been people in government saying, should we join the European Union? And more Canadians. Who's the more Canadians? What's this statistic? You asked 1,000 people and like 800 said yes. Did you bother asking 42 million people?
Did you bother asking any adults? Was everybody you asked 16 and maybe they're idiots and also shouldn't vote?
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably
Paradoxy says malaria, the translation of it being sick air. Okay, fair enough. I did not know that. Now, happy news. We're going to go through this real fast. But basically, here's a video clip of this guy.
That's you?
So Gary
Where's
Owen.
the funeral?
He found out that oh shit, I don't know why it does this, but anyway, he found out that one of the guys in the crowd, his wife had passed away a couple days before, but wanted him to go to the show anyway. And so he went to the show, called him up on stage, said, we're going to cover all your burial costs and give you some money. So just,
wow.
Class act.
Wow.
Dude.
That is unbelievably a class act. Holy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then also in other good news, nature is healing. This is from The View.
And before we go on hiatus, we only have one more show after this. I'm allowed to say that, right?
Too late now.
So it doesn't really matter. Yeah.
So apparently they were just going to quietly cancel it. That's their second last show. And Joy Behar says, am I allowed to say this now?
Well, I mean, after Joy Reid, I was expecting something like this. When Joy Reid got canceled and canned off CNN, women
and Stephen Colbert.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if they're terrible shows with shitty takes on everything that lose tons of money, how long do you want it to keep going for? I get the fact that it's a tax write-off, but there's a finite amount of tax write-off.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Did you see the Disney movie Ironheart? They're still going for it. I don't get it.
No, dude, I didn't. I basically the last show of Disney of the MCU that I saw in its entirety, and I went and saw all of the movies up to Endgame in the theater with there was two that I missed, but I saw Infinity War twice in the theater and Winter Soldier twice in the theater, so it worked out. I saw every TV show they did, all the next Netflix shows, the last one, so I'm talking like every single thing they did, and the last one I watched was Hawkeye.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Right, and I was just like, I am your biggest fan, and I can't deal with this anymore. You need to do better.
When you go see Fantastic Four, you're going to see that they're not completely out of the woods, but they're bringing it back. They're bringing it slowly back because I think Feige is going to get fired. Mark my words. I think Feige is going to get fired.
Oh, really? The guy who has been at the head of 15 flops in a row? You think he might be getting fired? I think.
I have an inkling. that he might get fired.
Although, I mean, look at Kathleen Kennedy still hasn't been fired.
Yeah. But that Bob Iger is just, I mean, you got to let him off slow. I mean, he's not going to come off the chopping block right away in Florida. He's going to lose his entire. He
got back in like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
And he ran the company before that. So it's not like he came in.
Honestly, Elon spoke for all of us when he told him to go fuck himself. Like when he said, you're going to blackmail me for advertising. Really? Keep your money. Let's see how long your company lasts with your track record.
Yeah. But anyways, The View is going to be gone.
Good. It's about time. Less cancer on TV.
Now, community notes. August 7th in Stettler. I can't remember where exactly, but August 7th in Stettler is the candidates debate for the Battle River by-election. So Pierre Poilievre is confirmed to be there, although he hasn't really announced it publicly yet because apparently he wants to keep it on the down low. So don't tell everybody that August 7th in Stettler, Pierre Poilievre will be at the debate for the candidates. Prairie Rising Forum in Regina, October 18th. Tickets and info at prairierisingforum.ca. Speakers confirmed so far. Martin Armstrong, Sean Newman, Wayne Peters, Bryce Wade, Brett Olin, Matt Eric, Jamie Sinclair. More to come. And she wants to know if I'm confirmed for that yet. I'm just in such a whirlwind right now. I gotta get back.
It's a tentative yes. It's a tentative yes.
It's a tentative. I have no idea. I would really like to. I've just got a lot on my plate right now. And then there was a couple more. I didn't write them down, and we've been going on for a long time. So we're going to cut it off there. Vesper, thank you so much for coming on. Eva, if you're still watching, it was great to have you. Thanks very much. Everybody else, thanks for tuning in. And
listen, if any of you want more of my craziness, visit me on X, Vesper Digital, and you'll find out a little bit more about my insanity and why I'm friends with twos.
I think anybody who's been listening for the last 2 hours knows exactly why we're friends.
It was fun, man. Thank you for having me on, as always.
It was my pleasure. All right. We'll see you guys later. Hopefully, Sean is going to be paroled next week. Hopefully. We'll see if that happens.